This is called VASA or VASA 1. It's called lifelike audio-driven talking faces generated in real time. It's part of Microsoft research. They do a lot of research, as you can imagine. And what they did was they're testing capabilities. The capability here is, could we take a single image of a person, and they didn't use real people for this activity. They used computer generated faces. And can we give that single image an audio clip? And then can we get that image to act like it's talking like a real person? Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Still image, one image, audio clip of like a recording of, hi, how you doing? Things like that. And can we get that image to talk and act and behave like it's a real person talking? That was their.
Bob, you did that yesterday, Bob, in a Zoom. You did that yesterday. You had a dog. You were talking. The dog's mouth was moving as you were talking.
This is different. This is a lifelike, realistic person. This is not a real person. This is not a real person. This is not a real person. Adobe has an animate tool that lets you animate voice to a character. And that's what I showed you at one time. But this is actually a still image. This is the still image. This is the still image. This is the still image. And I think, let me change my share settings here and see if I can change it so that it has audio that will play better. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to play this and let me know if you can hear it. I want to make sure you can, okay?
So, sometimes nothing happens and sometimes everything happens all at once and you just got to deal with it. And it's also just strange to both be extremely worried about different things and have your anxiety levels like peak to the highest they've ever been. And then also be extremely happy and grateful that you were able to buy an apartment. It's all these conflicting emotions. They have their way with me.
Still image. One picture, AI did all of this animation of the image. Let's take a look at number 2.
Have you ever maybe you're in that place right now where you want to turn your life around and somewhere deep in your soul, there could be some decisions that you have to make. It's like something was decided for you. And instead of trying to make something that is done work, it's like the invitation is to make the decision, commit to that, and to start creating what comes next.
Notice the eyes and the motion of the face.
The first thing we need to look at is the letter H, so the sound at the beginning. It depends what country you're from, but many native languages have a problem with putting too much tightness in the throat, and it can become more of a sound. So it's very important not to overexpress.
So that was audio input. Now, here's some other examples with diverse audio input. So let's take a look.
If you plan to go for a run and you don't have enough time to do a full run, do part of a run. If you plan to go to the gym today, but you don't have the full hour that you normally work out, do some push-ups, run up and down the stairs, go out.
See how
surprises me still. I ran it on someone just last night. It was fascinating. She had complained of shoulder pain in her arm. It was excruciating. So I said, okay, let's run this.
But you can imagine I have a lot of questions. So I'd love to begin with you firstly, just because I read that you started out in advertising and now you run a wellness business.
Now you can see how this different types of signals, what they've done is they've created they take the static image of a face, they run it through an AI model, and then the AI model starts to animate the face in different motions, eyes, etc. But it's very, very tied to the way of expressing things.
I would say that we as readers are not meant to look at him in any other way but with disdain, especially in how he treats his daughter, okay? But of course, he is able to see through.
One view, a different side view, a different side view, the face is just turned, and a different way of looking up and expressing. Different head scales, okay? This looks a little bit different. See the different size of the face and the head?
But you can imagine I have a lot of questions. So I'd love to begin with you, firstly, just because I read that you started out in advertising and now you run a wellness business.
And another one with different offsets: neutral, happiness, anger, surprise.
You had me on one of the most fun experiences of my life as I was on the show in Chicago, and I attempted to eat 2 Italian beef sandwiches in under a minute.
Angry, happy, neutral, and surprise, different facial expressions, all generated by AI. And then they can take some other types of things and animate. They've tried some different experiments there, and they can change the head pose and the features and different motion sequences. And they've able to take the video frames. It generates 45 frames per second. But what they've decided is that it will not be made available in any way whatsoever. It's given the context. They have no plans to release an online demo, an API, a product, or any implementation details until they're certain the technology will be used responsibly. So, but the technology is there to do it, which is what's amazing. And that's what a surprise I wanted to show you. Amazing, isn't it? What AI, and this is what AI can do. We may not get it. So imagine going through a drive-through and having an animated, avatar that looks photorealistic from a face that was generated by AI, being able to take your order for you. You think you're gonna really be talking to a real person, which is why they say there's a lot of risk with it right now.
Well, it's done a great job animating you today, Bob.
Yes, this is really an avatar. Yes, that's done this. So yeah, and I actually did.
All 3 of us noticed.
That's for the birds.
Yeah, so I think part of the challenge is going to be at some point with so much AI taking over in a lot of ways, are we going to feel like we want to be more sure we're dealing with a real person? I think dealing with a real person will start to get a different level of value. Just my personal thoughts on it from that experience.
Bob, all that was probably just fake, because I think I'm going to go look for fake news from Microsoft. Fake news from Microsoft. That's all fake.
Yeah.
You had everybody believe it. God.
Yeah.
Bob, how did you get access to this secret project that they are?
Oh, it's not a secret. It's just on Microsoft Research's website. Nobody connect. All they're doing is showing examples of what can be done. Okay. Yeah.
Go there and find it or something else.
Yeah. So I mean, it's you can do the photorealism. There are some tools out there that will generate avatars. Synthesia is pretty good at doing some photorealistic text to speech, which is pretty good. But Microsoft wanted to get the expressions. Getting expressions into a visual representation of a face has really been difficult in AI until now, I guess, right? Because now we can see it.
The eyes. Bob, I noticed that the developers seem to all be Chinese. Was this developed in China?
It's developed by Microsoft Research Asia. I don't know where in Asia it is. It could be in Taiwan. I don't know if Microsoft Research is in, mainland China or where it is, but it's what they call Microsoft Research Asia. So it could be, I'm not sure where it's physically located or where the developers are for it. But we're going to see
That's
more
impressive. Thanks for
things like
sharing
that.
that. That's
pretty
that's
impressive,
scary.
isn't it?
It's impressive in what they're able to do, and it's also quite scary that what can be
Yes.
done. I applaud Microsoft for, holding on to it till they can develop, some ways to handle it properly so that people know that, that person that they're talking to, that little video, there can be another box or two up here, and those people are, the eye movements and the expressions, pretty good.
Pretty good, right?
Pretty
right.
good, yeah.
Very tied in with the voice. Yeah, the AI is interpreting the audio, the voice, and the tones, and saying, "Okay, this means somebody." Now, there are tools that exist in call center applications that will recognize the tone and sentiment of a caller, and they're actually being used by larger call centers. So if you call into a call center and you're talking to a representative and you sound angry, the interpretation can pick up the fact that you may be angry or upset, and give the call center rep a flag, says route this call to a different representative now.
Yeah, because I've been yelling service for half an hour and I'm mad. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Representative. I want a representative.
Yeah, so they are starting to track it. They used to do it just with words, but now they're tracking the tone of voice as well to determine sentiment when somebody calls in and talks to a call center.